my name is Anushka Basu. I study in Modern High School for Girls. So I have the TI Inspire calculator, and I have been using it for like 1.5 years now. And I use the calculator for academics. So mainly I use it for for my maths class. But along with that, I also use it for my science subjects like biology and chemistry. And then the calculator TI Inspire, it is very useful and it's very easy to handle. So before this calculator TI Inspire, I had the TI 84 plus CE, and which was also a very good calculator. But after exposure to the TI Inspire, solving sums have become really easier. So some of the exclusive features of TI Inspire are we can graph Voronoi diagrams, which is a part of our IB syllabus, and which is not I cannot draw those in the TI 84 plus CE, that calculator. And then graphing a function in this calculator is very easier because I can just input the function and the graph is like it's readily drawn. But whereas in the TI 84 plus CE, there were like numerous steps to just draw a graph. And doing statistical problems, it is also that are also very efficient because there is a specific feature for of a spreadsheet in the TI Inspire. And the best feature I like about TI Inspire is that we can save documents and have multiple pages open where we can do different questions or parts of the same question. So like during our exams, if there are like multiple parts to a question, then we can simply like open different pages and have solve them separately. Then so initially when I got the TI Inspire last year, I was very confused, like what to use for like specific functions, and thought that along the sum, and even thought that doing the sum manually would be easier for me. But after like attending many workshops and webinars by Texas Instrument, I am able to grasp all the functions and nuances of the calculator. So now I cannot do a complicated math problem like without the TI Inspire. So it's been a really it's this calculator is really helpful.
Good morning all and welcome to today's webinar hosted by Numerical Analytics Instrument Private Limited. Thank you all for joining with us. Today's webinar will focus on the usage of TI technology to solve the problem related to number system. So once again, I welcome you. I'm Hassan, Education Technology Consultant at Numerical Analytics. So students, these webinars will be recurring webinars. So every Saturday on the same time, you will have the webinar on the topic of IGCSE. So today's topic is number system. So before moving ahead, let me just introduce you to the company. Numerical Analytics is a leading provider of modern education technology, analytics, and business intelligence solutions. So Numerical Analytics has been around for over 12 years, working with many educational institutes and corporate organizations to implement education technology and analytical solutions. Our head office is in New Delhi and our main branch is in Malaysia. We are the sole distributor of Texas Instrument calculators, which include scientific calculators, graphing calculators, and financial calculators across India. We also deal in vernier probes and sensors, which are compatible with all the TI calculators. So along with all these, we have another division that is research analysts to provide the leading qualitative and quantitative research softwares in India to make the work easy and more productive. So our partners are Texas Instrument for the education technology, eViews, NVivo, and TIPCO. So as we are dealing with many IB and IGCSE schools across India, the list of schools is very long. I bought some of the schools over here, like Ahmedabad International School, American Embassy School of Bombay, Chennai, Delhi, Indus International School, Heritage School, Gurgaon, Pathways School, Gurgaon, Noida, and Aravali. Calcutta International School, Scottish School, Stonehill International School, Navratan International School. All these schools are using TI technology from a very long time. Okay, so moving ahead, let me tell you about the right calculator for the examination. So all the three calculator TI Inspire CX2, TI Inspire CX2 CAS, and TI-84 plus CE are approved in all the listed examinations like SAT, AP, ACT, PSAT, and IB. Even IGCSE International Mathematics Curriculum also approved to use TI calculators. Okay, so before moving to the actual topic, let me just tell you about the keypad layout of the TI Inspire CX2. So this calculator is introduced in 2019. It is the upgrade model of TI Inspire CX. So here we have three zones. One, navigation zone. This top zone is called navigation zone, where you can use to navigate between the documents and pages. Then you have math and numeric zone. The second one, math and numeric zone, where all the mathematical functions are available for you to solve. Then in the last, in the bottom, you have a alphanumeric zone. So all three zones are divided into three parts and different functions are available there. So it is very handy if you use this calculator. Along with all these zones, we have some special keys. These keys work same as they do in the laptops and the computers. Like you have an escape key. This escape key is used to come out of the screen. So if you are doing some calculation, you have used some menu options, then if you want to come out of the screen, you just have to use the escape key. Then you have a tab key. This tab key is used to navigate between the different options. So if you want to jump from one option to another option, you use this tab key. Then you have a control key. So now this control key is very important here. This control key is used to access all the functions that are written in the blue color. Okay, so you can see above each key pad, you can see the blue label. So to access those blue labels, you have to press control. Then you have a shift key. Then you have a delete key. And then finally you have a space bar. So all these special keys are used same as you are using the laptops and the computers. So this is the keypad layout of the TI Inspire CX2. So along with all these special keys, you have some special templates available in the calculator. So first, you have a equal to sign. So above this equal to sign, you can see there's something written in the blue. So if you press control plus equal to, you will get a rational keys. Okay, so this window will pop up on your calculator where you can use all these rational keys. Then alongside equal to sign, you have a trig key. So if you press this trig key, you will get all the trigonometric functions available for you. Let it be inverse or a simple trigonometric ratios. Then below you have a pi key. If you press pi, you will get a window that says pi, iota, infinity, exponential. These kind of key functions are available inside this pi key. Then in the alphanumeric zone, there you can see on the right side, there is a question mark and an exclamation mark is available. This key will give you a window that says punctuation keys. Okay, so all the punctuation keys are available here. It is useful when you are making a notes in the notes application. So above you can see there is a math template key. So just showing something different. So there is a math template key. So this beside the 9 key, you can see the math template key. So when you press the math template key, you will get the math template where you will have a different types of template available for you, like fraction, exponential, surds, limits, and all differentiation, integration, sum, product. All these templates are readily available inside this math template key. Finally, we have Finally, we have a catalog key. So beside this math template key, you will have a catalog key. So now this catalog key is very important. This catalog key is used to find any function. See, this catalog key is used to find any function that you are unable to find in a menu bar. Okay. If you are unable to find those particular function in a menu bar that you are seeking, you can get it in this catalog key. So this catalog key also provides you the syntax of any particular function. So here you can see for the nsolve, below that you can have a syntax of that nsolve function. So it says nsolve equation comma variable. So this catalog is important if you want to search the syntax of any particular function. So this is it from the keypad layout of the calculator. So now if you start your calculator, you will get a home screen first. So now this home screen of the handheld is divided into three zones basically. First is a scratch pad zone where you have two options. One is calculator and the graph. So this scratch pad basically used to do the quick calculation on the calculator, or if you want to draw some quick graph, you will have this graph scratch pad available for you. You can draw the graph and you can analyze the graph as well here. Then you have a document section where you can make a new document, you can browse your document, you can change the settings of the document from this document zone. Then finally you have 7 different applications available in this calculator. So first is your calculator application, then you have a graph application, then you have a geometry application, then there is a lesson spreadsheet, data and statistics, then you have a notes application, and finally you have a vernier application. So in this vernier application, what you can do, this application is known as vernier data quest. So here you can do all the live experiments by using the vernier probes and sensors. So let me show you all these applications one by one in the calculator. Then we'll proceed to the actual presentation. So, so you can see on my software, you have three zones: Scratchpad, document, and then 7 different applications available. So first, if I go to Scratchpad calculator, you just press calculator and you get a Scratchpad for the calculator. Now you can do quick calculations here, like I have done 2 plus 3 equals to 5. Then if you again press on and go to graph, here you can draw a quick graph and do the analyze. You can analyze or you can trace this graph as well in this Scratchpad. So then you have a document section where you can create a new document. Okay. Then you have, then you can browse the document. Then you have a settings available for you. So if you go to settings, you have a different options available here where you can change the document settings as well. You can change the language, handle setup. You can check the status of the calculator and other different options available here. Then you have a 7 different applications like calculator. So what special about this handheld is this handheld is completely menu driven. So you need not to find any functions or you need not to find any syntax to go for one point to another point or any for any function. You need not to uh, recite learn the syntax for that. You just have to go to menu and all the different options are available here. So if you want to do calculation or calculus, number, algebra, you will have those functions available for you easily. So similarly for all other application as well, you have a menu for them where you can easily get what you are looking for. So without further ado, let me introduce the presenter of the day, Ms. Greta Gomes. She has been an educator since 2007 and IB educator since 2008. She is currently teaching mathematics and TOK in Stonehill International School. She heads the Department of Mathematics at Stonehill and believes strongly that every adversity lies opportunity. She also a Math HL examiner, IA moderator. She is passionate about mathematics and incorporating technology in the classroom. She says mathematics for me is a timeless beauty with an extraordinary creation. So without a further ado, Ms. Greta Gomes, I welcome you to present this webinar.
Thank you, Hassan.
You can share your screen now, ma'am.
Sure. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Okay. So firstly, I want to thank all the students and the participants here for investing your time wisely and spending it effectively to enrich yourselves this Saturday afternoon. I'm extremely grateful to Revati, Jyoti, Swati, Hassan for not only spending long hours in discussions with me, but also for giving me this wonderful opportunity. So TI calculators is an absolute delight, and I just find it fascinating to work with the calculator, okay, and to enhance my mathematical ability and mathematical skill in the classroom. So as we are working on a rather simple topic today, you might find most of the questions here fairly simple. But as we take off over the coming weeks, it will get complex. So make sure you're understanding these parts well. So as Hassan has already explained the layout of the calculator to you, I think we can dive straight in. Our learning objectives for today, I think the first one has already been completed by Hassan, that is navigating through the TI Nspire. Take note of a few important keys, as was rightly pointed out, the key next to 9, which you'll be needing a lot for the catalog option, and the trig option, the equal to, those are the relational keys. The equal to, the control and the equal to sign will give you the relational keys. Okay, now my topic today is not just numbers. Okay, it's the number in numbers that is important. Okay, since the layout was already explained, I'll move straight to slide 4. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see this, but in the cartoon, can you see the cartoon, students? Okay, so the lady says, I'm so dead. What's wrong? I have to read this 280-page book in 3 days. That's like 70 pages a day. No way. Can I do that? Is she right? 280 divided by 3, right? So what is your answer? Can you type it in the chat box? And Hassan, can you read out the fastest answers?
Yeah, ma'am.
Go ahead, students. Are you able to figure this out? 280 divided by 3? Are we getting any answers?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll show this to you. Okay, so I
The
was,
answer has came, ma'am, 93.
okay, 93.
Krishna 93.33. Akansha says, Vidush says 93 and 1/3 pages.
Okay, that's correct. So the lady says, I'm dead. I'm totally dead. Actually, it's 93 pages a day. But then it says 0.333. So pat yourselves if you got 93.333. Okay, let's just check this out. And, I think you all are fairly advanced, it looks like, because you kind of know how to type it in. So from the button next to 9, okay, just to the right side of 9, You select your tab there and you can hit 280. Just press the number. Okay. My system appears to have, okay. 280 divided by 3, okay. And if you want your decimal place directly, students, just put a decimal point here, okay. Just put a point there. You see this point option here? Just put a point and you hit enter and you're done with your answer. Okay. Now another way to do this could also be observe. If you want the same thing again, just go up. Hit the up key. Observe it's highlighted in red on the left. Just go up. Select it by pressing enter. Okay. And then you can always go to menu, number, and approximate to convert to decimal. Okay. And then again hit enter. But more number of steps or whatever, however, whatever you find easy. Okay. All right. Next, we move on to, so once you've understood this fraction to decimal and decimal to fraction conversion, okay, we'll go on to now to the next part, which is working out simple numbers. Okay. So when you work out, let's say these kind of questions do come in 0580 paper 2. Wherein you work out these kind of expressions, and fraction to decimals and decimals to fractions can be discussed here. So would you like to try this out and then give me an answer? Go ahead. You can type your answer in chat. Let's see who is the fastest finger. Hassan, do we have an answer?
Not yet, ma'am. I think they are typing.
Okay. Be alert. Everything might not be ready-made in the calculator. So some things you might have to convert to your template. I'm waiting. Okay, I think we do have an
answer. One
answer.
answer has come. 0.35. Akansha says. Vidusha says 7 by 20 or 0.73. Oh, 35. Sorry.
So 0.35. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you can see, that is the correct answer. Now, what you, I think most of you can type it in, but just for some of you who cannot do it, I'd like to work this out with you. So you know that 2 1/3 is 3 2s are 6 plus 1. So 7 by 3 minus 7 by 8. And that is multiplied by 6 by 25, right? So you just go ahead and type it in. You can use your bracket, okay? You can use a bracket key, which is here, and accordingly proceed to type. Use your template, which is here. Hit enter. And you know that you have 7 by 3. Okay, everybody, I need everybody to have the answer with you. And then again, go back to the template. Click the template so that you get yet another fraction template and type in 7 divided by 8. Okay. Once you have that, then multiply by, so just close the bracket and multiply it by 6 divided by 25. So again, you'll have to use your fraction template. So observe you're using your fraction template quite a bit today. Basically, you're kind of exploring all the forms of numbers, right? And if you want this in decimal form, as I already showed you, go up, okay, to select what you already have achieved, go up and then hit enter. And you can just put the decimal point there and you have your answer in decimals as well, okay? I hope all of you are getting it this far and are clear about this.
Ma'am, one question arises.
Yes.
Someone asked, is there any way to enter mixed fraction without converting to improper form?
So I have not seen that. So I have not seen that form in the template. Okay. So maybe we can suggest that to Texas to kind of in the updated OS to kind of have that in. Okay. Shall we continue? Yeah. Okay. The next part is, okay. now we are moving on to factors. Okay, so this, as you can see, factors, LCM, HCF, right? You will find that you will have to actually work this out, find the factor, and get your hands dirty here, right? But if you have the calculator at your advantage, it's very easy to find the factor of 60, find the factor of 90, and just observe the highest odd number, right? So for that, what you do is as follows. Okay, you go to menu. Okay, go to number and factor. Okay, now you wanted the factor of 60, right? So you have your factor there. Then you wanted the factor of 90, correct? So go there, hit enter, and now you wanted the highest odd number. That is a factor of 60 and 90. So what's your answer? When you observe the screen, what is the highest odd number? That is a factor of 60 and 90. Yes, your answers? Hassan?
Yeah, ma'am, answer is coming 5.
But observe 3 is also common to both. 3 is also common to both. So 5 into 3 and 5 into one of the 3's from the 3 square, right? So your answer is 15. 15 is the answer. That is, which is the highest odd number, that is a factor of 60 and 90. Students, some of these questions I've taken from a couple of papers, so it will also help you, kind of prepare side by side. So, okay, so since we are done with this, let's go on now. So I hope factors is clear to you. You can type yes or no in the chat box so that we get feedback. And if you're finding the session a little fast, please let me know. Okay, is the pace okay?
Yeah,
Hassan?
ma'am. I think, yeah, ma'am.
Yes?
It's okay,
Okay,
ma'am. No
okay,
issues.
okay. Great. So now that you have your answer in place for factors, let's go on to another question of a similar nature, because numbers are full of, you know, uh, factors, LCM, GCD, sequences, compound interest, simple interest. All of these topics actually build number. Okay. So if you see here, you're given 234, you're given 1872, and then you're given yet another number, which is the product of these two. Now, suppose you're fumbling, okay, and if these two numbers are large and you're fumbling in the law of indices, you might always want to check this out, right? So, you would like to do 234, find the factors of, rather just find the factors of the given number, okay? So, can you proceed and do it and give me your answer? Maybe you can raise your hand and we can have Hassan unmute you.
Yeah, ma'am. One answer has came from Krishavir.
Yes,
2 raised to the power 5
correct.
multiplied by 3 raised to the power 4 multiplied by 13 raised to the power 2.
That's correct. I put the answer out here for you. And as you can see, you just find the factor of that number. And what happens is you get the number in as an exponent of the prime factors involved, of the prime numbers involved. Correct? So well done. So far, so good. I think you're understanding well. We'll continue. Yeah, this was a slide that I just worked out the answer. And so you go to menu, number, factor. Okay. Okay. Escape, escape, and then go to the next question. Okay, students. Numbers are all about, different kinds of rational, irrational number systems. So one such beautiful number is E. Okay. And I'm sure you all know that E is irrational, right? And it does take this value. Now, at times, you might want to go into this page is all about helping you to understand what document settings are and how to change the float. Okay. So as you go to, let's say, hit E on your calculator, you will find it here in this left column. Okay. Next to 1 is 10 to the power x, and next to that is e to the power x. So if you hit E and then raise it to the power 1, okay, you find that you have a non-recurring and a non-terminating number, because this is an irrational number, right? Now, let's say you want more number of values here or less number of values here. Okay, what you can do is come to documents. Okay, or rather, you go to menu, go to your main mode of menu. Yes. Come to on. Sorry, come to on. Okay, that will bring you to the home screen. Okay, if you press this on button, it's highlighted on red in this keypad section of mine. And as you can see, now you are in this 3-page section that Hassan was telling you a little earlier during the workshop. And if you hit 5 directly on your keypad, you will reach here. I hope so. So, okay. Yes. Okay. So you go to, oops. You click on settings and then go to 2. So it is the home screen, then the number 5 to activate settings, and then document settings, that is 2. Okay. Then you see here, I have already kind of selected a float of 8, right? So I can reduce this to float 5, let's say. Okay. So I hit OK, and then I go back to my current screen, which was 4. And then I type my number again. So no need to type it again. Just use your up key, the up arrow key, and select what you wanted and hit enter, and enter again. Check the float 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Understanding? So this is, sometimes questions will ask you questions which we will be doing in the next session. With algebra and algebraic word problems might ask you to round off values to certain number of decimal places, and where accuracy is involved. Even in trigonometry, where accuracy is involved, you don't want to lose out on the decimal places and other values. Okay. So this was about the irrational number E. Okay. Does anybody know the expansion of E? From where does E actually come? When you reflect on this number, as I said, it's number in numbers, right? So as you reflect on this number E, does anybody know? Is any hand raised, Hassan? Hello?
Yeah, not yet, ma'am, but we have unmuted all. If they want to speak, they can.
Okay. Does anybody know where this E comes from? Okay, basically it is the limiting case. So, this will be a beautiful exercise, probably in algebra when we kind of analyze 1 plus 1
Yeah,
by
ma'am,
n.
one hand raise is there.
Okay, go ahead.
Krishavir, you can speak.
Go ahead.
Krishavir, you can unmute yourself and you can speak.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, it's the limit of n reaching to infinity with 1 and then 1 plus 1 by n to the power of n.
That's
That's the,
correct. Yes.
yeah.
Yes. It's the limiting case of 1 plus 1 by n to the power n. Okay. And give it a read. It'll take you into a whole new world. All right. Okay. Yet another expression that you can work out is 1 plus root 5 by 2. Okay. So please go ahead and give me that value. 1 plus, this is just to help you to get acquainted with square roots and cube roots and all of these. Okay. So 1 plus square root, right? Please tell me what the value is. You can also type it in chat. Yes, do we have an answer? Before I hit enter?
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay, I've hit enter. Now, why do you think I chose this number? What is so great about it? Anybody? Any reflection? Yes?
Some
Hello? Hello?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes, Hassan, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Akansha says irrational.
Okay, in addition to it being irrational, have you ever reflected about this special number? It's something, there's something about it. There's something about 1 plus root 5 by 2. There's something about it. What is it?
Can I guess, ma'am?
Go ahead, Hassan.
Maybe something related to trigonometry.
Not really.
Oh,
Uh, there's something about 1 plus root 5 by 2.
uh,
Can I answer
Go ahead.
that?
Yes.
It's the golden ratio, right?
Yes, absolutely right. It's the golden ratio. Students, I want you to, when you see a number, don't just look at it and, go ahead. You need to reflect about what story that number has to tell you. Okay. So the ratio of the whole to the larger part, it was, this idea was technically developed by the Greek mathematicians when they reflected on extreme and mean ratio in the division of a line segment. And the ratio of the whole to the larger part is the same as that of the larger part to the smaller part. And you find this in so many beautiful things around you. Okay. So this one is a one for you to recognize. Okay. Uh, yes, let's go on now to yet some other simple calculations. Yes, I would like you to try this out, students. Please go ahead and try square root of, okay, I'll read it out for you. Square root of 4.2, 4.2 multiplied by 1.611. The whole thing should be divided by 9.83 multiplied by 1.74. So these two dots in the center represent multiplication. You can please put out your answer in the chat box. So I will wait for you.
yeah, ma'am. We have a couple of answers. 0.629, Vidusha says, and
Okay, I
Akansha
would
says
like you.
0.63.
Yes, yes. That's correct. So 0.62890 or yes, that's correct. Okay. I think you all have, since I did not mention to what you have to round it off to, I will accept both those answers. Very good. Please go ahead and try the next one now to familiarize yourself with cube roots. You can give me your answer to 4 significant figures.
Okay, again, Akansha says 0.9613.
That's correct.
Krishveer also the same, 9613.
1, 3. Okay. So I think you all have already familiarized yourselves with this square root, squares, cubes, cube roots. So I'm happy about that. Now, yet another amazing symbol that hides. Okay. And where does it hide? It hides next to number 9 in the catalog. Okay. So if you can see just below log, it hides just below log there. So I'd like you to click on that number. I mean, click on that template, the summation template. Okay. And maybe we can, okay, I could do it with you. So click on the summation template and let's find out what do you think the sum from 1 to 5 is? So can you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5? How much would you get? Type your answer in the chat box. Yes, what's the answer?
15, Akansha says.
Okay, Akanksha, let's check and see whether you're correct.
Krishveer 15.
Oh, yes. So more than one person says the
Yeah.
same answer. Let's check. N goes from 1 to 5, right? Because I asked you for 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. And this symbol is summation, which adds the numbers from 1 to 5. It's rather the sum. Okay. And I'm only summing N, right? So I get 15. Now you might also want to check that by typing 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Okay, though, but This is the summation symbol, which will take you directly there. Okay, but you should be able to put it in terms of the associated variable. Okay, and connect the sum to the variable. All right. Now, students, having said that, there's a beautiful number which is associated with Gauss. Carl Friedrich Gauss, the prince of mathematics. Okay, and you will find out what that number is when you do the summation of n from 1 to 100. Please go ahead, type in summation n from 1 to 100 and tell me what your number is. Hassan, I think we have some
Yeah.
answers coming.
50-50, Akansha says.
Okay, let's check if it's 50-50. So you go here, click n going from 1 to 100 and n. Okay. Now, what was it about this number that made Carl Friedrich Gauss so famous? Okay. What happened is Carl Friedrich Gauss was very famous in his classroom, and his teacher hated him. So as he was working out, so the teacher wanted a lot of free time in the class, and the teacher told Carl, why don't you just add the numbers from 1 to 100 and give it to the whole class? The exercise was given to the whole class so that the teacher could enjoy a little free time. But Carl Friedrich Gauss finished it in a minute and just handed his slate in. And the teacher was surprised. And he was surprised because Carl's answer was the fastest and it was correct, very much like our Akanksha who's here. Okay, other participants, I also want to see answers coming in from you. So keep up the good work. Okay, we are moving now, students, to evaluating expressions at a particular number. So as you can see, what sort of an expression is this? Go ahead, type your answer in chat. What sort of an expression? Yes, what's your answer?
Akansha says cubic.
Well, know that it has two variables involved, x and y. Okay, so it's an algebraic expression, and you will now evaluate this at x is equal to 3 and y is equal to -2. Now you might ask me, oh, it's so easy. Why do we need the calculator for this? Yes, the calculator is your point for checking all your values. Okay, remember, in the time of an exam, there's a lot of stress involved. You might get confused and you might miss out on some of the values there. So what we are going to do is we are going to now assign variables, okay, in order to make this task easier. Okay, especially if your values are large. Okay, imagine if x was extremely large and y too, then computing can be, it can be extremely cumbersome and bogging, and it might bog you down. So let's do the first one first. Take note of the expression. It's 2x cubed minus x squared plus y. And take note of, the points. Now, when you come here, what you do is observe. There are many ways in which you can do this, students. So one possible way is to store your value here, okay, using the control and the template key. But first of all, choose your alphabet, that is x, correct? And then assign the value of x as 3 and hit enter. So you observe that this value is now stored in x as 3. Okay. Next, as we proceed next, again, you'll have to store a value for y, right? So what you can do is you can use another method to do it, and that is define. Just type in the word define using your alphabet keys here below. Define. And you can say define y is equal to, remember when you're typing define, put a space, otherwise you'll get a syntax error. Define y, space y equal to -2. Okay, there's a difference between this negative sign and this negative sign, but in this calculator, it technically doesn't matter. Okay, so once it says done, that means the value is stored, right? Now you will want to evaluate your expression. So directly type in 2x cubed minus x squared plus y. But do this using the stored values. And please tell me your answer in chat. Go ahead.
I just have a question.
Yeah,
Yes.
Krishveer.
Oh, we can also use like, let's say I have to define 3 as x, so 3 then control store as x.
Yes, yes. You can also use control store. Yes. Many ways to do the same thing. So you can, what he says is you can use control store to also store your value. Okay. I felt this was the easiest to use, no hassles there. Straight away, control and the template key, and you're done. Okay, so what's your answer? Please go ahead. Using this method, I would like you to give me an answer.
So, ma'am, can you show the expression?
Sure. So oh, I'm so sorry. It is 2x cubed minus x squared plus y. Okay. I hope you're typing 2x cubed, correct? Power, hit the power, hit 3. I think we're already getting answers. Very good. I'm happy to know that. Minus x squared, correct? Power 2, or you can directly, uh, just directly type this one. Oops. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so just hit x squared here and plus y. All right, so plus y. Yes, and was the answer matching?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
Correct, Akansha.
Yes. Good, Akanksha. I can see that your speed is racing. Come on, others. I want you to compete. So please proceed to question 7, as you can see here on my screen. And go ahead and type in your answer as a fraction. But please use only the store key. This is just to help you develop proficiency in using the store key. I mean the control template or the define key.
So, Krishavir says 9 by 8. So, Krishavir, is that for question number 7?
Yes, he means
Yeah,
9.
question
Yeah, okay.
7.
So, student,
I-
you can answer by unmuting yourself as well. So,
Thank
rather
you.
than writing on the chat, you can unmute yourself as
I think you might want to check that out, Krishveer. Uh,
well. 3 by 2.
that's correct. 3 by 2 is correct. Okay. Please let me know if you would like me to work this out explicitly for you. Please.
No, I just made like a small error. I did r into minus 2 cube.
Okay. Okay. So students, another important thing that you should know here when you define variables is this var key, right? I still remember, Jyoti and Swati from TI telling me very carefully to observe this var key. So it tells me what are the variables that I have already defined. And now if I have so many variables defined, I might want to undefine them as well, right? So if you want to undefine them, you go to menu and you go to actions, okay, and you just say delete variable. Then you can tell the calculator what variable you want to you want to get deleted. So let's say you want to delete x. So delete variable x, and it's done. Okay. So when you're defining items, quantities, or variables, you might also want to um, undefine them. Okay, this is also useful, students. Yes, I think we have some chat. Okay, this is also useful when you have questions in variation. Like m is inversely proportional to the square of p minus 1. So when you're storing values here, and if you arrive at your right hand side in this form, then you might want to store the values of k and p and straight away type in the function and arrive at your answer. Okay, but be careful because you've already defined the variable. The second time when you're finding m, it might take the value of p. So this is a place where you might want to be alert when using your calculator. Okay.
Ma'am, one question is from Akansha. She's asking, can you re-explain the first technique of defining a variable?
Yeah, sure. So uh, what you do is you first type your variable. Okay. So choose your letter. Okay. Because A for Akanksha, I'll choose A. Okay. So then you hit this control key, which is highlighted in red, and this key. Okay. That means the key that is next to 9, correct? Which is the template key, the math template key. It's just next to the catalog key as well. And assign your value, whatever value you need. Let's say you want A to be 4. Okay. And there you go. So now let's say you want to calculate A plus Y. So just type in A plus Y and observe that was 4 minus 2, which is 2. And observe when I hit in the keys, like for example, when I hit in the key that is already defined, observe it turns bold, right? And then because it's kind of, telling you that, yes, I have recorded the value A is equal to 4. And now I'm going to use this value in order to arrive at my answer. Okay. Let's move on now to Akanksha. I hope that was helpful. Let's move on now. Hassan, any comment about that?
No, ma'am. Akansha says yes, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, let's move on now to a little bit about compound interest. Okay, so what will $5,000 invested at 8% per annum compound interest amount to after 2 years? I know some people struggle calculating this, and at times even I do, but these are also, obviously easy questions, so no much of hassle there. All you need to do is go to menu. Okay, oops, I'm in the wrong template, so I'm just going to press escape. This is my note template, so it won't come here. I need to go into my calculator page. Okay. Oh, by the way, students, I don't know whether you actually observed that I have very wisely put in my questions under 7.1, and the working for 7.1 I have stored in 7.2 and so on. So if you look at my previous questions, the question was in the note of 6.1, while the working, this was my working that I'd already worked out. So if you see 3 templates, as in 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, these are pages associated with the same problem. 5.1 is page 1, 5.2 is page 2, and 5.3 is page 3. Okay. Now, 5. The page 1, I had just kept to for you to kind of see the questions. Okay. 5.2, when I was preparing the questions, I decided to work it out myself just to have definite answers so that I could make sure that you're right. And 5.3 is to work along with you. So basically, these are pages of the same problem. Okay. And how do you get a problem and a page is as follows. Let me just, I'll go to 5.3 here. Now, if I want a new page, okay, I can either press Control and this dock key and you'll get another page, or you can also press Control I. Okay, I like pressing Control I. Okay, and I'll hit calculator because as Hassan explained, you have various options to select whatever you want from here. So, and you can see I've added another problem. Now, just to satisfy you as well, Control plus, add graph, let's say, and we have 5.5. So observe the numbering. So in the exam, students, when you're solving the question, always do question number 1 on a new page, meaning on create a new problem for every question, and for its sub question, create a new page. Okay, like I just did. Now, I did not show you how to create a new page, as in from 5, how do I go to the next problem? Okay, these were all the questions associated with problem number 5. But if I want to go to the next problem, then I can straight away press doc 4.1. Okay, doc 4.1 is your secret recipe to enter a next page. Sorry, a next problem. I hope I have not confused you there. So just two important pointers. For a new problem, it's doc for 1. Every problem on your paper needs to be doc for 1. And every sub question of that problem needs to be a control insert. Okay, I hope that was helpful. All right. Yes. Now, so you can, what you do is, you know that these values are 5,000, correct? Your PV, that is your present value, is 5,000, or your principal value. 8% is your interest rate, and 2 years is the N, or the number of years, or the time, right? So what you can do now is just go to a calculator, new page, and go to menu, number. Okay, and under number, under this, when you go to menu itself, you will see 8. Okay, like 2 represents number, 8 represents finance. So just hit finance and finance solver. So basically it's menu 8.1. Good to know your shortcut keys there. So okay, so N is 2, just type 2 there. Your I is 8, type 8 there, and your PV is 5,000. Oops. Okay. And come to FV and then hit enter. Okay. Is that your value? Yeah. Now, if you want the compound interest, you will have to subtract this, subtract your final value with the PV, right? So you press escape. All right. And I've done that for you here. Correct? And you have your answer, your compound interest. So I would like you to try this question. Students, I have done one question with you. Please try the second one. How much interest? Just basic level questions for you to understand. This is just to deal with number. We'll be doing in-depth when we do tables and explore other features of the calculator in the coming weeks. Go ahead and try and question 9, please. Hassan?
Yeah, ma'am.
How much time do we have left?
Ma'am, you can take 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I think we're having an answer in chat. Go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. One answer has came from Vidusha. He says 520.875. Another answer, Akansha says 15,208.
Yes, yes, that's here, right? And you, from that you should subtract because you're giving me the interest, right? So you subtract your present value from your final value. You subtract your present value, and then you have your answer, right? Correct? I hope this is clear. Okay. You can always explore further and change N, especially when it's given to you in different forms, okay? Like years, months, and so on. I would like to quickly rush through, sequences. Students, this is a beautiful part of number, simply because you find sequences everywhere around you, okay? As you can see here, the famous number sequences, some of which I've tried to put in a little grid here. The Fibonacci sequence, the triangular numbers, correct? Square numbers, and so on. All right. So just to put in two ideas that we learned together is to determine the first 10 terms of the sequence defined by un is equal to 3 plus 4n. So what you do here, students, is as follows. Okay, you use the define key, that is control and the template. Okay, so I'm going to, you can try it out, students. Please try this question out by following the instructions that I say. So please type in U, because you're going to define this. Now I have already defined it, so it's already coming in bold. So U of n, okay, and just hit this key and put in the sequence that I had asked. That means this was the sequence that you're determining the first 10 terms of. Okay. So 3 plus 4n. Now you want to know what is u1. Then, so once it says done, then you just type in u1. Now let's say you also want to find let's say u6. u6. So then just type it here, and okay, this just tells you that you're correct. How do I know I'm correct? Well, very cleverly, I had already wanted to list down the terms of my sequence. So first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term, and the sixth term. So you know that the sixth term of the sequence is 27. Now, how did I get this? Okay, I went to catalog. Over there, you will see many, under this number 1 catalog, you will see, just hit on S and you will arrive at the secant function, which is a trigonometric function. Just come down to sequence and you'll also see the syntax there, as Hassan was telling us in the beginning, right? It'll give you the catalog, also gives you the syntax. So here you can type in expression, the variable, what is the starting point, up to what point, and in how many steps. Okay, so just press escape, and you can also type, students, SEQ, and because, observe, it has become straight, the Q has become straight because it has recognized that you're calling a catalog function. And then just follow this order because you've already defined UN. So just type UN in, put a comma. You'll find the comma here on the left hand, but I don't know whether you can see. It's now red, and accordingly type it in, and you'll get your beautiful sequence there. Okay. So this is a tad bit about sequences. There's a whole lot more where you can connect it to tables, you can connect it to graphs, and so on. But and there's this also the sequence generated by the Ramanujan number, which is 1729, right? So if you can do that as part of your takeaway, it will be a wonderful experience to try. So as you've reflected on this topic, numbers, today, I hope you've also seen the number in numbers. With that, I'd like to conclude this session. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you, Swati. And thank you, Revati.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful session on the number system. So, student, I just want to tell you that these webinars are the recurring webinars. And so today we have a topic of number system. So next week we will have a topic on algebra, and that will be the just from your course. We will take that topic and we'll on in the consecutive coming weeks we'll have some different topics ready for you. So those who have already registered with us need not to register again, and we will send the links, joining links to them for the coming week. So thank you for joining this session. Thank you. So if you have any question, you can ask. Ma'am is still here. Yeah, I think no questions, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am, there is one question here. Can you re-explain sequences? Akansha asks.
Okay, so Hassan, can you want me to do it in this class, or because it's also going to be a continuation of algebra?
So Akansha, what we will do in the next class, the coming week on Saturday, we'll start the topic with your question, the sequence, and then we'll proceed to the algebra. How about that? So we are ahead of the time. Okay. So ma'am, we can do it next in the next session.
Great.
Okay. Bye. Bye, Akansha.